When we learn about parts of speech, we normally start with nouns, but when it comes to diagramming sentences, we want to begin with subjects and predicates so we can see the big picture first. Most sentences contain at least one of each of these, so minimum one subject and minimum one predicate. And together, these form a clause. As you go on, you're going to see that many sentences have multiple clauses, which means that they'll have multiple subjects and so on. But in this course, we're mostly going to focus on sentences that have a single clause. Now, the next thing we might like to know is what is a subject. So a subject is who or what is doing the action of the verb. So who or what plus the verb, I'll just write that. And then the predicate is the verb plus everything else, Oops, there we go. And all of this tells us something about the subject. Okay, so these two definitely interact with each other. Let's look at some examples here. We have Anthony blew his nose, and what we can see here is that Anthony is the subject. He's the one doing the action. Blew is the verb, and he also blew something, so all of this is the predicate. Then we have 99 balloons, that's the subject, and then we get the verb and everything else, which is the predicate. In some sentences, of course, you're not going to see the entire subject before the verb and the rest of the predicate, so we're going to see more complex situations, but as we start out here, we see pretty simple patterns. How do you diagram these things? Well, the first thing to learn is that we always start our sentence diagram with the subject and the predicate, or the subject and the verb especially, and we start with a horizontal line, then we draw a line that extends a little bit below our horizontal line, so about 2/3 of it is above the line and 2/3 is underneath. You can do a neater version than I've done here. And then we add our terms. So we're going to write she here, we'll make up a new sentence, and she jumped. So there is our verb. All right, we have our subject and we have our verb. Of course, over time, we're going to see more complexity and we'll add more things to our diagrams. So if we take Anthony blew his nose, for example, right, we're going to start with our subject and predicate. So let's do this here. We're going to start with Anthony. There we go. And then he's going to do an action, so blew. And in this case, we have some more information. So we also have a direct object, and we'll learn about that more in the future. Nose, blew his nose. And we also have a description for his nose. It says his nose. So we're going to put that underneath. But all of these rules you're going to learn down the road. The main thing to know for now is just to be able to draw that horizontal line. Then we draw this vertical line that extends a bit below. We put the subject on one side, the verb on the other side, and we've started diagramming subjects and predicates.